Welcome back, little sluts. It is the Pitre podcast. So we are again in the my room. Basically, we're recording in my room because the lighting is overall better. As you can see, I'm literally glowing right now. Like I'm like literally glowing. I'm so fucking pasty that the light that's reflecting on me right now is glowing. Yeah, I'm right in front of a window too, so that plays a part. But I'm literally like fucking beyond white. Not in ethnics, excuse me, but in like actual appearance. But we're not here to talk about how fucking white I am. We are here to talk about two things primarily, and that's two very random topics, but it's two topics I want to discuss. So the first one being the Raja Jackson. So that's Rampage Jackson's son. Rampage Jackson being the former UFC champion. I want to talk about this because, as you may know, I'm super entrenched, or I was super entrenched in the MMA space. So it's something that went viral on my TikTok. And after watching it and, seeing the comments online, discourse online, everyone's like agreeing on the same point, basically. So I want to talk about that. And also Trump Daddy, which I said that as a joke. I don't actually mean that. But the fact that his like supporters call him Daddy is fucking insane. But Trump basically bringing in National Guard to DC and trying to bring it into other, major cities in the US. I want to talk about that as well. Those are basically the two like main topics I want to discuss here on the podcast. I know like super random topics, but I do find both of those topics pretty interesting to a degree. So let's jump into it, right? So I'm going to go into the Raja Jackson fiasco, basically. So to give a little context on why it's important, who this person is. So his dad is a former MMA fighter, right? Former UFC champion, Rampage Jackson. He was champion of the light heavyweight division over at Pride, which is a competitor to UFC during like the very early 2000s. Pride being actually bigger than the UFC during that time period. But he was champion over I think their weight class is a little bit different, but basically he was like the equivalent of lightweight champion over there as well. And during that time period, so he was a really big name in MMA during the early 2000s stretch. He's a very entertaining fighter to watch overall. And, he's really beloved within that community because him as a person, he's just goofy. Like, he just likes to joke around, fuck with people, like lighthearted, that kind of stuff, right? And he doesn't have a filter, so he just says whatever's on his mind, basically. So he'd be saying some outlandish shit to women sometimes, which, I mean, as long as they take it as a joke, I guess it's cool with them. But basically, I guess his son is a streamer, just to get into the events in the background. So his son is a streamer, which I don't watch streams. I didn't know what his son did, who his son was, until this whole thing happened. I am a 30-year-old man. I'm not going to be watching streams, to be honest with you. It's just not my cup of tea. Every stream clip that I've seen has been involuntary because it just pops up on my Twitter, unfortunately. And from all the clips that I see, like from the different streamers that are out there, is all like stupid stuff. So it's like, it's not within my age group, man. I think it's really catering to like that younger 20s or teenagers demographic, which, listen, man, get it how you get it, not necessarily judging. If that's what you want to do and it's working out for you, God bless, do what you got to do. So basically, I guess he's a streamer. Rampage is doing streaming now and that kind of stuff. And I've seen clips of Rampage with his streams, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. I love Rampage. I've been watching, I was watching Rampage fight 20 years ago. Literally, like no exaggeration. I was watching him that long ago. Very familiar with his career, but some of the content he's making is like, bro, you're 50 years old, it's just a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like watching some of the clips and stuff, I'm just like, bro, like you're too old to be doing this, bro. Like I love you and you're funny and stuff, and it was a pleasure watching you fight, but if this is what you want to do moving forward, this is how you're gonna make your money, cool, because the money in MMA goes quick. The money in fighting in general goes quick, whether it be MMA, boxing, or whatever the case may be. So the money goes quick, and if this is what's gonna sustain you long term, go ahead. Who am I to judge? But it's just a little weird seeing like some of the shit that he be doing on those clips, and it's just like, bro, you're too old for this. I'm not gonna lie. that's my personal opinion, man. I guess I'm just being a hater. But basically, his son's a streamer, right? Going back to his son, which is what we're here to talk about. Son's a streamer, and he was going to do something of like a wrestling promotion, right? His son's also an MMA fighter. I don't think his son's a professional MMA fighter. I think his son's like an amateur MMA fighter, or if he is a professional MMA fighter, he's not like that well known, doesn't have like a crazy record or that kind of stuff. So his son's a fighter, basically a trained fighter, and he's not a small guy. Rampage was not a small guy either. The guy was like over 200 pounds when he was fighting. So, his son, similar build genetics, is a big guy, over 200 pounds, I think over 6 foot, like not a small man whatsoever. So I think he was from what I've seen from the promoter, the wrestling promoter, which is a wrestling event, he was going to partake in his wrestling event to a degree. I think in terms of like promotion, I don't know if he was actually wrestling, but I just think like it was more so promotion, like, because he has a streaming, he's a streamer. So like he has an audience, and it's to help promote the wrestling event basically through his audience. That's all it is from what I've seen in the research I've done. So he was part of this promotion. Apparently this was established beforehand. So apparently all of this was like supposed to happen to some degree. Right? So it wasn't something that at first it looked like it happened out of nowhere, but in doing the research, apparently this was supposed to happen, right? This was like, I don't know if this was actually like, and I'm going to get into like actually what happened so you have more context, because I'm just like talking in circles right now, but this was going to occur to some degree. Like there was going to be something along those lines. They were going to cut a promo, right? So this is what happened. There's an amateur wrestler who is a former veteran. He uses wrestling as an outlet for his PTSD. His name is like Psycho Stu or some shit, right? So his gimmick is just being crazy. Like that's his gimmick, In wrestling, you have to have a gimmick. Every wrestler has a gimmick. They have something that makes them unique and makes them stand out, right? When it comes to wrestling, it's not just wrestling. A lot of people think that you just go in the ring and you do that, basically. That's not necessarily the case. I'm not a wrestling fan whatsoever. My brother absolutely loves wrestling, my older brother. So growing up, whenever he had the remote, we were watching wrestling. I was basically forced to watch it. So literally every wrestling match from they call it the Attitude Era. So from like late 90s to early 2000s, I've seen all that shit. Like literally all of it. I could recount all of it because I was forced to watch it basically. So wrestling is not just you going in a ring and you're fucking wrestling, right? It's more to it than that. A lot of it's acting, which a lot of people don't seem to understand or just forget as a whole. You have to be able to sell yourself. You have to be able to promote yourself. You have to be able to cut these promos and be good on the mic, if you will, to be successful in that sport. You can't just be athletically gifted in wrestling, right? When you look at some of the best wrestlers that are out there or have ever been, they weren't necessarily the best at wrestling, or they weren't the most athletic, but they were the best on the mic. They were the best at portraying whatever character that they wanted to across that resonated with the fans and with the fan base, right? So this guy's gimmick, Crazy Stu, Psycho Stu, his shit's being crazy, His gimmick is being a little crazy, getting a little out there. So apparently this is going to be a promotion, right? So Crazy Stu is going to do something to the fucking Raha Jackson. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but he was going to do something to Rampage's son to cut a promo, right? To create the beef. So you have to stir the pot, if you will. You got to create the beef. You can't just, you got to play into it. It's an act, It's like acting in a movie or acting in a play. Like you got to get into it, basically, right? And this was apparently agreed upon by all parties. So what actually happened? So Crazy Stu, he like smashed a beer bottle over this kid's head, right? Like a not a beer bottle, like a beer can, like a fucking Bud Light can, basically. Smashed over the dude's head. And the thing about these kind of altercations in wrestling too, one, it's agreed upon. So everyone knows kind of what's going to happen, right? Even if you do something that's not necessarily agreed upon, wrestlers know this is an act. This is a promo. We're not dead ass here. I'm not seriously trying to inflict you pain or cause you pain on purpose. Or even if I am to that degree, it's all an act. I'm not doing it viciously. I'm not doing it because I don't like you. I'm doing it because, like, you know, I'm trying to get at you or something. Like, this is an act. This is a game. I don't want to say necessarily a game because it's not a game, but like, this is a performance. There we go. That's the best terminology. This is the performance, right? This is what we're doing. We're trying to portray to the fans or to anyone that's viewing that we have beef. It's not real in that regard. Wrestling is real in the terms of like injuries and that kind of stuff. 100%. Wrestlers get fucked up bodies by the end of their careers. Like, they're literally fucked by the end of their careers or even during their careers. They sustain so many injuries, is insane. I think they sustain more injuries than like any other profession out there. Entertainment profession. So, like, it's brutal on your body. So, but these promos, the beefs, that's not real. That's a promotion. You know, that's a performance. They're performing. So when he smashed a can over this dude's head, when Psycho Stu smashed a can over Rampage's son's head, it was performance, right? He didn't do it out of ill will. He didn't do it to be an asshole. It was just, it's part of the shtick, you know? So to give you context there, but not only that, wrestlers know how to pull punches. And what I mean by that is, they know not to go full force. Even when they are wrestling, they know not to hit you that hard. Well, most of them do. Amateur wrestlers, they're a little sporadic. You know, they're still learning the craft, so maybe they might go a little overboard. But a professional wrestler, they know to pull their punches, right? They know not to go too hard. So when he actually smashed the cane over this kid's head, when Stu smashed the cane over Rampage's son's head, I'm not sure if he did it full force, right? Because, again, he should know not to pull your punches a little bit. So he smashed the cane over this kid's head, Crazy Stu, and immediately he's like, you're not going to sell? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is the thing. This is the shtick. You have to sell. Like, he looked confused right away. He was like, yo, you're not going to sell? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to sell. You're not going to sell? So things just got serious between them. Like, yo, like, Crazy Stu was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? It's like if you're acting in a play and all of a sudden, you know, the person you're in the play with, the person you're doing the part with is no longer acting. It's just like, yo, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, like, what are you doing? Like, you gotta fucking sell it, you know? Like, fucking drop to the floor, you know, fucking grab your head, like, do something, you know? You're just standing there. So, and again, Rampage's son's a MMA fighter. He's not a wrestler. He really doesn't understand this stuff. He was probably debriefed beforehand, from what the promoter's saying that he was debriefed beforehand saying, yo, this is gonna, like, this is all promo, you know, fucking act, basically. But he should have known coming into this, like, yo, this is a performance. Like, this is not dead ass. We're not really about to fight here, you know? So, like, leave that fighting mentality in the MMA ring. This is now wrestling. It's completely different. So, yeah. Basically, Stu was like, yo, you're not going to sell. What's going on? What's going on? So they talked it out after, right? And basically, you know, you could see in the video, there's a video of all this. Stu was apologizing. Stu was like, yo, I'm sorry. You know, he was explaining the situation. He was explaining everything. He apologized multiple times. He shook Rampage's son's hand. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, so I'm going to keep calling him Rampage's son. He shook Rampage's son's hand, and that was it. You know, the guy apologized. He thought we're cutting a promo. From the organizer standpoint, that's what they said was supposed to happen. That's what they said. This is what it was. So, you know, Rampage's son shouldn't have been caught by surprise in that regard. He apologized multiple times for it, and he shook the dude's hand. You know, like, and a lot of people, when it comes to shaking hands and that kind of stuff, it is important from a male standpoint, right? And a lot of people think, oh, it's just like, it's not important. It is important from a male standpoint, because, like, if I'm beefing with someone or someone's apologizing to me and we shake hands, that's like signifying whatever issues we have is done. That's what it's supposed to mean. When you're beefing with someone, you dap someone up, you shake their hand, that's when it's signifying, yo, like, we're done. Like, we have no issues. Everything is over. It's a guy thing. So, dude apologized multiple times. He explained himself. Rampage's son apparently should have known better, and they shook hands. That was it. Now, that was before the actual show, the actual event. the events happened, right? So Crazy Stu was in the ring, wrestling, doing what Crazy Stu do, and then Rampage's son basically runs into the ring out of nowhere. This is not a promo. Like, this is like not a promo whatsoever. No one knew this was going to happen. This was not supposed to happen. So he ran into the ring. He basically, like, and again, Rampage's son's an MMA fighter, right? Regardless of his record, he's an MMA fighter. He is a trained fighter. Wrestling's a little different. I'm not saying wrestlers are not strong or can't fight, but it's just different. Like, wrestling is geared towards performance. MMA is geared towards, like, actual fucking combat. So, you know, the guy, Rampage's son, picked the dude up, slammed him, got like 20 punches on him. Literally 20 punches to the grill. Just like unprotected punches too. Crazy Stu was unconscious already, and the kid is just wailing on him, right? And you have to understand, when it comes to professional fighters, they don't hit like me and you. They don't, you know, their punches are different than our punches. Like, when you want to become a professional fighter, or you want to like start taking a combat sport like seriously, like MMA, boxing, you have to get your hands registered. I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but basically you have to get your hands registered as a deadly weapon, because they are a deadly weapon. You can literally kill someone with your hands, you know? So their punches are far different than our punches, because of course they train it, you know? It's like training a muscle, going to the gym. If you don't train that muscle, if I took some regular guy to the gym with me, he doesn't lift, never lifted in his life, I'm benching 225, he can probably hopefully bench 100 pounds. Like, there's this difference in strength, and that's the same thing that goes for training MMA or training boxing. There's going to be difference in strength in regards to punching. So Rampage Jackson's son is just fucking wailing on this dude, like literally 20 punches to the dome, not unprotected by a fucking MMA fighter. Like, that's going to do damage. So a lot of people jump in there, the ref, other people, the wrestlers are already in the ring. We're holding Rampage Jackson's son back, and the crazy Psycho Stu had to go to the hospital because of it. And I think he's like still recovering, but has like some brain issues. But yeah, the discourse online is all saying that, yo, Rampage Jackson's son bugged the fuck out, which I 100% agree. He bugged the fuck out. He should not have done that. Everyone's agreeing he's in the wrong. There's only like a handful of people that are trying to defend Rampage, literally a handful, but collectively as a whole, across fucking everywhere, everyone's saying that, you know, Rampage Jackson's son's in the wrong. And especially with the context I have, knowing that this is supposed to be a promo and that Rampage Jackson's son knew, he's 100% in the wrong. 120% in the wrong. Because one, apparently from what I've seen, you knew about it. That's from what I've read. That's from the research I've done. He knew about it. He knew there was going to be a promo, right? So he signed up for it. It happened. The dude apologized a million times, shook his hand. That should have been the end of it. You attacked him out of nowhere. You know, you literally blindsided him. No Sandra Bullock. And you're in the wrong, bro. Like, you hospitalized a dude. On top of that, you're a trained fighter. Like, you can't be doing that. It's different for a wrestler to do that shit than for like an actual trained fighter to do that stuff. Like, you're 100% in the wrong, man. Even Rampage, like, did not condone his son's actions. He was like, yo, I don't condone his actions. That shouldn't have happened. He was like, yo, he was concussed like a week beforehand, so he doesn't know what's going on. Some people are saying that's an excuse. Not necessarily. I mean, it is kind of an excuse, I'm not going to lie, but like, concussions do fuck up your brain for a little bit. You know, after you first get concussed, like, things are like foggy. You don't know where shit is. Like, you're forgetting stuff, and that can affect you, you know, long term, especially in the short term, which was in the span of a week. So it definitely could have played into it. Not only that, but dude, MMA fighters are, and I love MMA. And again, I had the opportunity. I've had, you know, promotions like Invicta reach out to me to interview MMA fighters, right? So I had the opportunity to interview champions of promotions, and I turned it down. The reason why I turned it down is because MMA fighters, their egos are extremely fragile. Their egos are extremely fragile, and you have to understand as to why. So basically, when you criticize an MMA fighter, you're criticizing them. It's different than criticizing like a sports team. Like, if I'm criticizing Manchester United, right? I'm criticizing the team as a whole. I'm not criticizing the individual player. Whereas in MMA, you're criticizing the individual person. Not only that, you're criticizing them fighting, which is a little different than just playing a sport. So their egos are incredibly fragile, man. That's why I didn't want to do these interviews, because I knew for a fact if I were to ask challenging questions, they're going to push back on it. They're going to retaliate, and I just don't want to deal with that. So I didn't end up doing it, and I don't regret it, to be entirely honest with you. But MMA fighters, their egos are fragile. So, Rampage's son probably found it as a slight and say, yo, I got to get my get back. He got his get back and then some. Listen, the slam was more than enough. Like, he picked the dude up off the air, and this is a big fuck, two big fucks. Picked the dude up off the air, slammed him. I think the guy was unconscious from the slam because that's how hard he hit the mat. So just from that, you should have been done. Like, that's 1 for 1. He smashed something. He smashed a fucking can over your head, which probably wasn't full force. You slammed him on the mat full force. You were fine. He's unconscious. That's it. Like, yo, you got your get back. Yes. Even though he apologized for it, it's a promo. You guys discussed it. You guys shook hands. You got your get back. Cool, whatever. But to punch the dude 20 times after that, like, there's no excuse for that. I'm sorry. Like, you bugged the fuck out. And I'm happy that no one is taking his side here. Because, again, he is a trained fighter. He can fucking kill someone. You can't take this kind of altercations and this kind of stuff lightly, And for people who are saying, oh, that guy deserved it, you had it coming. Again, from what I read, it was a promo. So he knew what was coming, basically. And on top of that, listen, if this dude apologizes a million times and y'all shook hands and apparently y'all squashed it and you were fine then to attack it unprovoked, that's soft. If you were that upset about it, you should have done something when the incident occurred. Literally. So after you got hit, that was a time to retaliate. But to do it after the dude has, apologized a million times and all that stuff, is like, bro, what was the point of that? Like, the dude is probably going to sue. I'm not sure if they're going to. I'm not sure if the promotion is going to. They're probably going to sue. I'm not going to lie to you, which I'm going to be honest, they should. They're entitled to. So he's going to get you for all the money that you have, and you just started getting famous from streaming. You just started making money from streaming, so they're immediately going to take that shit away. But even worse, you might get jail time. Like, you seriously might get some jail time for assault, a couple years for assault, which, you deserve it, man. Like, you shouldn't have done that. Like, there's really no defense for it, and I'm happy that, the rest of the MMA community didn't just side with the MMA fighter and did agree that, like, yo, he bugged. Like, he shouldn't have done that. Like, that was completely unnecessary, and I think it was completely unnecessary. And apparently, like, Rampage's son has been going through stuff recently and all that stuff, but it's like, bro, you can't excuse this action, man. Like, there's no excuse for it, and it really shouldn't have happened altogether as a whole. So hopefully Psycho Stu gets a full recovery and gets back into wrestling, but yeah, it's unfortunate, and there's no excuse for it. Rampage's son's in the wrong. I just rambled on that for like 30 minutes. Let's get into Trump. My freaking camera's dying. So for Trump, right, and his son's going down. So Trump, daddy, he brought in troops, right? He brought in troops to D.C., well, National Guard, I guess. You can call them troops. So he brought the National Guard to D.C. His reasoning being is that, D.C. is too crime-ridden. We have too much crime in D.C. Shit's a little dirty. Shit's a little sketchy. We're going to clean up the city, right? So he has jurisdiction to do this because D.C. is technically federal, right? So he is the mayor and governor of D.C. D.C. is removed from all of the rest of America and the states, basically, right? As far as, like, laws, legislation, like, who runs D.C. from a mayoral or a fucking governor standpoint. So Trump has the ability to do that for D.C., right? And from everyone talking, well, most of the liberals are talking online, they're all saying they're like, yo, DC didn't need it. The crime was down since the 80s in DC. DC is not that bad, that kind of stuff. Like, here's my thing, right? Listen, if I lived in DC, I'm not objecting to it. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I don't understand why people are objecting to their city becoming safer. Why are you upset at that? Literally, why are you upset at that? Listen, man, a city could always be a little safer. City always has proportionally larger crime rates than, the rural parts of the country, because of course more people are in cities, so naturally it's going to be higher crime rates with more people there. But why are you opposed to president coming in and cleaning up a city? Especially a city that has high crime. Yes, crime has been down in DC since the 80s, but bro, the fucking 80s. Crime was high everywhere in the 80s. Literally. New York City, DC, Philadelphia, crime, fucking Miami, crime was high everywhere in the 80s because the Reagan administration was fucking garbage. So why are you opposed? So of course crime is going to be down since the 80s. Yeah, but that's still not an indicator that the city isn't crime ridden. That's not an indicator that the city should have some cleaning up and should be tougher on crime. Think when it comes to crime being down, bro, when it comes to, doing things about crime in a big city, things can always be done, bro. Things can always be better, right? So DC is a very unique standpoint where the president has the ability to do that. And listen, I've been shitting on Donald Trump all year. His presidency has been fucking garbage, right? He's finding any means of distraction to not release the Epstein files because he's probably in them, like to some degree. So, I've been shitting on him all year. I made a whole episode on how his presidency has been fucking ass so far. But I do think, specifically for this, it's a good thing. I think, yes, he's trying to distract the public from releasing the Epstein files. But listen, man, the people in DC, and I've seen someone make a video about this who lives in DC. He's like, yo, I can wear my chain out in DC now. I don't got to worry about nothing. Like, I like this. That's where you want to live, bro. You don't want to live somewhere where you have to constantly watch over your back and shit. Yo, I live in Philly. I don't even wear this shit out. I don't wear it out. If I was in New York, I wouldn't really wear it out either. But in Philly, I'm not going to wear it out, bro. I'll wear it in the gym, but that's it. Because why? The last thing I want is to have an altercation with some dickhead trying to take my shit. So, of course, if you're a citizen of the city, a resident of the city, you're going to want your city to be safer. So I don't understand this issue with homie coming in and trying to clean up the city. I think it's good overall, man. Come to Philly, bro. Come to Philly, clean Philly up, clean Center City up, bro. We got hella homeless just chilling, doing nonsense. We got motherfuckers just loitering over the place. Yo, come to Philly, man. Come clean this shit up. Go to North Philly, clean that shit up. North Philly fucking needs it, dude. North Philly needs that shit bad. So I'm not opposed to it whatsoever, and I can't understand why other people are opposed to fucking their city being clean. You want to live in crime? You want to have to fucking watch your back wherever you go, no matter what neighborhood you're in? Doesn't make sense. And again, I fucking hate Trump. I vote Democrat, unfortunately. Democrats fucking suck. Republicans fucking suck. No one cares about us. Let's just be clear. But I want my cities to be safer. I'm not going to lie. If the Trump daddy wants to come up in here and start fucking cleaning up Philly, yo, be my guest, bro. 100% be my guest. And listen, people are going to complain like, oh, they're going to stop and frisk or they're going to stop stuff. Yo, if I'm walking down the block right now, right, and a cop stops me, he's like, hey, can't talk to you for a second. Can I put you to the side? You know what I'm going to say? Absolutely, officer. What do you need? He's like, yo, we're cleaning up the city. We're checking everyone. This is the standard procedure. I got to check your bag. Like, go ahead. Check my bag. Fucking check my body, fucking cavity search me, do whatever you want. Like, I'm not going to be angry at it. Why? Because I understand, one, he's just doing his fucking job at the end of the day. But not only that, he's making the city safer overall. He's making me safer overall. So I get it. Like, there's going to be inconveniences to it. But I'm not going to sit there and try to fight back. Be like, no, I know my rights. Don't touch me. All this other shit. I'm not going to give the dude a hard time, bro. Because when you give cops a hard time, when you give military personnel a hard time, they're going to retaliate in kind. And you're going to lose every fucking time. So whenever a cop is doing something to you, or the cop wants to check you, or cop, you get pulled over, don't give these people a hard time. Because one, they're getting it nonstop. And that's just going to bring out all of that pent-up aggression on you. And you're going to lose. You're never going to fucking win. What are you going to do? You're going to beat up a cop? Then you're going to get charged with a fucking felony. You were just going to get a ticket. Now you're getting charged with a felony because you're a dickhead. So, and I'm going off on a tangent here. But listen, that's all I'm saying. Cop came at me. He was like, yo, we got to search you. We got to put you to the side. Like, yo, cool. Do what you got to do, bro. I'm complying. I'm not going to sit there and be a fucking dick to you so you can be a dick to me. But Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if DC necessarily needs it. I don't know if DC really needs to clean up. I've never been to DC. I've been there like passing through, but like never actually like stood there and hung out and shit. But there's cities in America that need it. San Francisco needs it. Fucking Chicago, Southside Chicago needs it. Oakland needs it. Like, there's a lot of cities in America that can use this cleanup. And, bro, the National Guard doesn't fucking do anything. They literally don't do anything. Like, they're never used. They're just sitting there. So if we're going to fucking have a National Guard and pay for it, might as well use these motherfuckers. Like, they enlist and they don't they don't do anything. They just sit there. So I'm going to use them. Fuck it. Like, why not? If you're going to make shit safer, man, fuck it. Let's do it, man. Now, if they're going too authoritarian and going crazy, then all right, we got to call it quits. But if they're just making a city safer as a whole, yo, I'm for it. Do that for every city in America, man. And again, I fucking hate Trump. He sucks. But this one, I don't disagree with. But that's this episode. Two very random topics. I understand that. But hope you guys have a good week. Found this entertaining. Of course, if there's ever something that you want me to cover, yo, reach out. Like, literally reach out. Reach out to me through Instagram, reach out to me through YouTube, or wherever the case may be, however you can reach me out. Reach out, talk to me about it, what you want me to cover. I'm not 100% sure that I would cover it, of course. Depends on the topic, but I'm open to possibilities, man. I'm really open. So, yeah, just let me know. But hope you guys found this so entertaining, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye.